Milo, you start.
Thanks, Dan. Look at these tiny little sweets. The audition. Hey, thanks for coming out. It's nice to see such a big crowd.
Thank you so much.
Like,
you look beautiful.
Okay, so the audition process. All right. So I auditioned. I was delivering pizzas at the time, and I got the audition and I got the script, and it said Ziggy was kind of like a nerd. So I had this weird haircut. I had like a bowl haircut at the time, and I put like braces on, and I came in looking as nerdy as possible. And the casting director was like, "You gotta get a haircut. You look weird." And so, so I came for the callback, and I had a haircut and stuff. And she was like, "Yep, all good." I think the only interesting thing about the audition process for me was I didn't actually make it to the shortlist. Eddie had to like ask to see all the tapes because the casting director hadn't put me on the shortlist, and then he was like, "Oh yeah, let's get Milo in," and she was like, "Really? I don't think he's really range of material." So yeah, it was really thanks to Eddie kind of going through the tapes, and he kind of made sure that I got the role. So,
That casting director was fired.
Actually, no, she's gone on to have a very successful career. Yeah, that's my casting process. Dan?
Yeah, it wasn't overly exciting. Yeah, I guess the only funny bit about mine is I'd auditioned for a previous season, as a lot of us probably had. I remember that's probably a little funnier because I thought it would be better if I put on a red singlet. I auditioned for Jason Smith's character in what was the one before ours?
Jungle Fury.
Jungle Fury. And I just want you to visualize me in a red tank top.
That's hot.
So with that visual in mind, stop it, Ari Boyland. with that visual in mind, I was obviously so horrendous at the Red Ranger, they felt sorry for me and offered me the Black Ranger the next year. But that's probably the most interesting story. But no, Eddie, it was very refreshing to have Eddie come down for the auditions, and we're all here because of him. So, amen.
Yeah.
Mike.
Daniel. I actually auditioned initially for the Green Ranger on RPM.
That's awkward.
Yeah, and then on and then they called me back and they had me read for Green, Red, and Blue or something. And then I still didn't get any of those. But then they had me. But Eddie said that that he, when he saw that, because that's when I had met Eddie. And Eddie's our executive producer, if you guys don't know. But it was after that, when he saw me, he said, he wanted me for Gold. So, and then when Gold came around, auditioned and got it. Miss Ari Boyland.
Well, thank you, Mike. I auditioned for pretty much every season that was made in New Zealand. I actually signed I got signed an option contract, like a holding contract for Dino Thunder. And I think there was another one as well. I can't remember. But yeah, so I auditioned for a whole bunch of them. I auditioned originally for RPM. I auditioned for Red and Black because they weren't auditioning Blue, because Blue in the Sentai footage literally did nothing, so they had no character to base him off. So when they
You guys go save the city.
So when they
I'll be here.
called me back in for Blue Ranger, they were literally like, just come in with any accent you want. So I came in with like 3 different ones.
What were they?
Can you do them all for us now?
I did like Irish, American.
Your Brazilian accent is incredible, Ari. I hear.
I like his Swedish myself.
My New Zealand accent, my regular accent, and Eddie actually had me audition mute as well.
What?
I love this.
I'm actually not kidding. Like,
Please don't
seriously,
say that, because I feel like that'd be pretty.
No,
unsexy.
it's funny because so you get the sides,
Don't
you have
try
the
it,
scene,
please.
like it's lines and everything, and he was like, that was awesome. So I did it in like Scottish, did it in American, did it in my accent, and then he's like, okay, just bear with me, but we want to run it again, but this time like we're gonna run the scene, but like just don't say anything.
Just shut up. Just don't.
So I literally had to act out my lines, like react as if I was saying the lines, but not say the lines. And it was actually a really interesting acting exercise and a lot of fun. But obviously they didn't go that
That's what our
route.
stunt guys do all the time.
That's true. That is true.
It's true.
Pretty much.
All right, is this work? Yes, it's work. Oh, wonderful. All right, so if you want to raise your hands and anybody who has any questions, don't be shy. Don't be shy. All right.
He's not shy.
All right, you're going to test me. Okay.
Oh, good
Good
hands.
hands.
Yes.
Is this
Yeah.
thing on?
Yeah, we
All
can
right,
hear you.
yeah. I'm just curious, with all the fight scenes and like many Power Rangers seasons and episodes and all that stuff, I mean, is it really common to get injured?
Can I just say that looks hilarious, you talking into a box like that.
Yeah, it works. Whoever invented this is a
It
genius.
looks like one of those any 80s babies here, those magic 8-ball things.
Yeah.
Kids are like, what?
Am I going to get lucky tonight? There were a few little bumps and scrapes. I think they try and keep you pretty safe. I don't think there were any serious injuries.
Ari, we rorted that chiropractic thing for months. Do you remember that?
Oh, we were really sore after the training. Like end of week 1 of Koichi camp, like we literally couldn't get out of bed. I was so sore after that.
Yeah, so we embellished it. Oh, we're really tender and sore. And because it's an American show, so they really take care of you. We're just like, look at this is great.
Yeah. We're
They'd
used
send
to
us
getting like
massages and chiropractors. And
we're used to getting like an apple box in the corner to sit on, and that's like it. And you.
yeah. Meanwhile, our stunt guys. Remember that there's a dude in the Evil Lair. He fell and like basically pretty much broke his ankle. But our Japanese stunt team were just so zen.
Yeah.
His ankle was literally sort of like this. And do you know what he did? Nothing. He did absolutely nothing. He lit a cigarette, sat in the corner, and didn't say a word. If that was one of us, it'd be like, my
Tears.
career's over.
Yeah. Tantrum.
No, I feel like you guys would be a bit more kind of like overestimate what we did. I feel like the stunt team needs a lot more credit than it deserves.
Shut up, Mike.
Speak for yourself.
I mean, these guys want to go, oh yeah, we went to chiropractic, and they're like, we're so sore after the.
Yeah.
But I mean, like the stunt guys like did a lot of it
Yeah.
in terms of like you guys said.
They are the superheroes.
Yeah.
Funny story about the stunt guy. There's a guy named Kyle Pryor. He was one of the only sort of how do I say Caucasian? Yeah, Caucasian stunt guys. He is now he plays a doctor on a show called Home and Away they do in Australia.
Nice. That's really cool.
Good looking son of a gun he is. And he can do backflips. Gets every chick.
All right, we have a question right here.
Nice to meet you.
Hello.
Was there any ridiculous stunts that you didn't feel like doing?
Didn't what, sorry?
Didn't feel
Any
like
other ridiculous stunts that you didn't feel like doing, but you had to do it anyway?
There was one. So one of the sources of problems with our season was that there wasn't enough action unit, enough fight scenes and stuff, and it was more character driven. So in an attempt to get more of that in, Eddie wrote a scene that was like 5 or 6 pages of dialogue that we were doing through a fight sequence. Now the fight choreography is hard enough to do, but trying to have a conversation while fighting was like a nightmare. It was the hardest thing in the world. I think we all underestimated. Like we were reading it in the read through and we're like, oh, this is gonna be great fun. And then we get on set and you're like, I don't know if you guys, it's like the scene where there's like the bubble wrap and wrapping people, I don't know, you might, but that was a nightmare to film. It was really hard.
You try to do your cool voice, and then you're out of breath. So
And then you squeal like a little girl because you get hit in the face. Yeah.
sound like a chihuahua.
All right.
Let's get some kids. Hey, look at there's some kids in the crowd. I know you guys don't shut up at home.
There's one there. He's next.
Hey there.
Hello.
Hi. Yeah, you got it right.
You got it.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
No,
Okay, 'cause I
speak
can't-
up louder.
No, we
Because I
good, we
can't
good.
tell if this thing's on.
Yeah.
Anyway, my question's for Mike. How hard was it for you to do your dialogue with forgot her name,
Li Mei.
Gemma?
Yeah.
Li
yeah.
Mei. Li Mei?
Li Ming.
Yeah.
You got it.
Because you guys would finish each other's sentences, and like, did that take like several takes to do?
You know what? No, it didn't. Like initially, they had it so I would begin the sentence and then Li Ming would come in after me. So she had most of the work to do. It wasn't until later they tried to mix it up a bit more. But Li Ming, we auditioned with. I auditioned with 3 Gemmas, including 3 actresses going for Gemma. and she was the best in terms of, it's just a timing thing in terms of like, you know, to make it sound like finishing each other's sentences. It's just a timing thing in that the other person has to come in a lot closer and just kind of have to preempt the end of my sentence. So she was the best at that. I don't think that's why she got chosen. I don't know, but like she did very well. So no, it didn't take a lot of takes because she had nailed it in the audition process, and no, she got her timing down. Yeah.
All right. Did I see a child's hand?
Yeah, the guy in the blue.
The guy in the blue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
You mean the guy that is blue?
All right. Hey,
Look at that here.
catch.
Good hands. He's a Wildcat fan.
There's a discussion
Oi,
going on.
oi, mate, we're up here.
You don't need approval from your mom.
That's you, love.
But if you cuss though,
Well, here's a question while he ponders.
Sure.
A question for you, and you talked about partner work. So Dan and Milo, you guys worked a lot together, and I know that there has to be some follies, some foibles that you can elaborate on as you guys had to work together, especially those first few days.
You know, the follies and foibles, Dan.
isn't that an English novel?
Is that like from the 60s or something? Like that kind of language? Foibles!
Excuse me, I seem to have dropped my folly and my foible. Give me a second and I'll pick it up. There was no fun on set with Dan Ewing. He is a hard taskmaster. He allows no smiling in between takes. People have compared him to Hitler. Okay, I'll bring it up. I'll do it. Yeah, thank you, yeah. I promised him I wouldn't, but I said it. No. I can't think of anything specific, but we just generally had a pretty good time, because Dan is a larrikin, as they say in Australia, but anything specific?
Not the Führer.
Yeah, I guess
No,
not.
I think we were lucky because we got to kind of not poke fun at like the traditional Ranger universe, but we got to kind of because we're these outsiders. Here's this little skinny kid. He's this idiot who'd been out in the desert getting a tan for all those years, and it was great to be able to sort of come in and go in from that angle. And it was cool because it was very different from what we'd seen in sort of traditional Ranger shows. So it really helped set the tone, I think. Mm. You're really tall and you got your arm up, so I can definitely see it. You can just yell out.
Oh, we have one right over here, my love.
It was really good, mate. It was really good. I think that was when the sort of Wolverine thing was quite sort of just kicked off. So I think it was good. It kind of.
Did you just compare yourself to Wolverine?
No, I'm saying I thieved. I stole a lot from Wolverine. There's a bit of a Jensen Ackles in there for all those Supernatural fans as well. What's your question? Oh, sorry, I'm Australian, mate.
What was it like to play the bad boy?
Oh, it was good. It was really good fun. Again, just to play against the traditional sort of Ranger universe stuff, it was very fun. Brought an element of realism to it. So I think there was a young lady over here.
Yes,
Sorry.
Where are the girl Power Rangers?
Doing their makeup.
Good old Power Rangers. Oh, right. Yeah. Well, we only had... Oh, no, we had two.
Where are the girl Power Rangers?
Yeah. Rose MacGyver, our Yellow Ranger, was actually supposed to be here originally for iZombie. But she's shooting something, I think, in Hungary at the moment. So
She's hungry.
She's starving.
She's an actress.
She's in the green room getting some lunch.
She's in a food coma right now.
So you guys talked about you've auditioned for a lot of the different Power Rangers and such. When you guys found out you were on RPM, other than like other the other Rangers that didn't know that it was famous, and you guys were pretty already on the Power Ranger, like awesome, got a job. Did you go and watch Super Sentai of you or what you were about to do, or did you not because you didn't want to be them?
Well, I mean, if you've seen Sentai of our season, it's so completely different, right? So they showed us like bits and pieces of the footage, so we could watch it and see like kind of how our characters were and that kind of stuff. But it really there was no correlation between that and us. Like they were silly and fun and weird, and we were like dark and brooding and like.
I think the monsters got the wrong way around. I think the mystic Force monsters would have suited our tone very well.
Oh, yeah?
Because those monsters were quite. I'm just talking to Milo. I don't know why.
Yeah, hey Dan. Yeah. Let's chat, man.
But our monsters had these big funny eyes, kind of thing, and then we just like.
Venjix made us both hybrids. We're both robots. Oh my God.
Stole us when we were children and made us both robots, and then our monsters like. Our swords and big googly eyes.
Okay, we got a question right here.
You all were working on the show basically at a time when the fate of the entire franchise was in question.
Yeah.
Was that was there a sense of that like on set or like did you ever get that sense like from the writers or producers of the show?
Yeah, well, it was.
Like,
I mean,
did it affect like the production?
Yeah,
completely.
Mickey Mouse turned up. And had a gun to our heads at all times.
Make it work, punk!
We went into it knowing everybody knew that this was the last season. That this was going to be the last season. Disney was done with it. It changed it. I know Eddie basically went into it, took on the role of executive producer, going, well, I can either, like, it's the last season, maybe they don't care about it so much. I can either really try and make it something great, or I can just, coast and get it through. And that's why he really went out on a limb and went, right, I'm just going to try and do something completely different. And for the most part, it went really, really well. But yeah, there was definitely that. And I think it was really cool. I know I felt really like it was cool knowing that like we were potentially going to be the last Power Rangers. That would have been really great. But I'm really stoked that we're not, though, and that it has gone on this complete upswing, because it would have been a shame for the fandom to kind of be left without anything else, like you got to keep on going.
Yeah, and just for today's generation, I mean, like that's the, Power Rangers has been on for like over 2 decades, and the cool thing about it is, every child has got to grow up with Power Rangers, dresses, in Halloween and whatnot. So
Kimberly.
Round of applause.
Genuine.
Round of applause. Yes.
Yeah, we grew up with Kimberly, so but yeah,
She does not age. She's a goddess. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you for coming on that journey with me.
Right here. Really loud.
Go on, mate.
Was it hard to make the movie, or was it not?
It took very long hours. We worked a lot every day. We were on set. Like, our days were like 12 hours long. 12, 14. Well, 14. No, not over 14. These two at the start we had like, I remember a week where I had like 2 scenes to shoot the entire week.
Yeah, the professionals were here doing it.
That's like 4 hours, 5 hours worth of work, and these guys were on set, just the pair of them, for like an entire week, right at the beginning of the shoot, doing all of that out in the desert stuff. You look a little traumatized there, Milo. Was that bringing back some flashbacks?
Still working through the scars. No, it was hard. It was also super hot. Some days you were just
jackets,
dripping in sweat.
We didn't get air conditioning in the studio until midway through the shoot.
Yeah, so we were just
and
sweating.
we were in these in a tin roof studio, and it was not a lot of fun. Yeah.
Catch.
Good hands.
So are you guys currently doing anything right now?
I'm sitting at a table.
Well, any project.
We're talking to you. What do you mean? What do you want us to do?
do some backflips.
Well, right. I mean,
the thing about actors too, you have to understand, like 95% of the time, the fact that it's freelance, you're in between jobs.
Yeah.
So a lot of times you're just kind of like in
we're-
there grind and auditioning.
The best way to look at it, we're professional auditioners. We're auditioning all the time, and that's literally our job. And if we get to do a job, it's a complete bonus. But yeah, it's middle of pilot season at the moment, so there's it's a really busy time of year. But
Speak for yourselves. I'm actually pretty busy. I get up around 11:30 in the morning. I put on Dr. Phil, so I'm watching Doctor, and I'm doing some Pop-Tarts, so that takes up about another hour. So it's busy. It's a schedule, but it's strict. I'm strict with myself. I stick to it.
I'm about to go and shoot a rugby movie, and I didn't tell them I never played rugby. I played rugby union, but it's about rugby league, which is a very violent sport. But I've signed my contract, so stuff them, right? And then after that, I'm going into a film called Occupation, which is sort of District 9 meets Red Dawn. Red Dawn, does anyone know what the original Red Dawn was? So it's a bit of that. It's going to be it's quite dark. But the aliens and the humans are going to be two characters. It's not going to be they're just the bad guys. You're going to see a lot of alien youth and why they're coming down and why the stuff. So it's going to be fun. And I get to shoot some aliens.
It's a story of intergalactic immigration.
Yeah.
It's
Maybe
very-
I fall
very
in love with
topical.
my green chick. Thank you, James TK.
Hi, everybody. My question is gonna go on to Samurai. When they did how Power Rangers always did really big crossover episodes. I was wondering, were you guys ever called in to do the crossover? Because they didn't have the original Red Ranger. The actor who played the original Red Ranger, they got someone else, and he never got unmasked or anything. I would have been cool to see you guys do that role, the roles that you did in RPM to crossover, but unfortunately, it never got done. So what are your guys' take on that?
Well, the secret is that actually was our season's Red Ranger. He just did the voice of it and credited it under a different name because of union obligations. So that was actually
like arty actor reason because he was a different character.
No, he wasn't. He basically wasn't allowed to do the job because he's part of the actors union, and because it's a non-union show. No, because I'm kind of in the in-between where I can do both. But no, we weren't approached about that. They just they specifically wanted the Red Ranger.
I got a call the year after that for one thing. I don't know what it was. I just wasn't available. But I would happily go back because I think the current Black Ranger is probably old enough to be my son. So. Dad, you said you were getting a packet of cigarettes. I'm back, boy.
It's been 6 years.
How's your mother? Sorry.
Hi. I have a question. You guys did Power Rangers RPM, but did you guys have any interest or nostalgia for any original Power Rangers?
Kimberly.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up watching Mighty Morphin, and it was. I remember running around playing Power Rangers in the playground at school, and always wanting to be the Red Ranger and getting relegated to blue, but that's fine. Yeah, but no, and actually in New Zealand they stopped playing Power Rangers really early on because they considered it too violent and banned it because I think kids were kicking each other in the head and stuff. And
but the national sport is rugby.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, I definitely remember Mighty Morphin, but we didn't get the other seasons of it. So it was kind of like when it comes along, because they've been shooting it for a really long time. So when it comes up to audition for it, you're like, Power Rangers, that's still going? Sweet. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Good question. Nostalgia.
Hey guys.
Young man. Hey, buddy.
Hey.
I was wondering, what kind of stuff was Eddie Gonzalez wanting to do at the end of the season?
Do you guys know the answer to that? Because I would love to know too. No, I really would.
He's always said that he wants to sit us down with a large beverage and explain it all. I don't think he really remembers anymore. It was such a long time ago, and he kind of, the way in which he exited was kind of a bit of a traumatic experience for him. So he's kind of really stepped away from it a little bit. But I can't remember. It was kind of similar.
Better.
Yeah. I know it would have stayed with the same tone all the way through to the end.
And just on behalf of Eddie, and I don't mean to speak for him, he was so grateful of all the fan responses.
Yeah.
And I know we were too. I mean, social media is used for such horrible things these days, or it can be. The positivity that we felt when those episodes first aired, although these kids probably aren't old enough, that's sad. Yeah. But we felt such an overwhelming support for our season. It was amazing because we were kind of, it was an interesting time being the last season, so we thought. So to get that overwhelming support was amazing. So thank you guys. Yeah.
Hey, I'm surprised no one has actually asked this since we're 2 weeks out. What are your thoughts on the movie?
I saw the trailer. Looks pretty cool.
They're certainly putting a lot of money into it.
Yeah.
Which is what I think. This is what I think. From a business sense, I just like to see the property being used and someone putting some effort into it.
Yeah.
Because I think that's what the fans deserve.
Yeah.
I'm really glad that Saban saw look, he's a businessman, so he saw some worth in taking it back off Disney. And I'm just glad that it's getting a revamp, and I hope it does really well. Yeah.
It looks good.
Yeah, that was I think that was the shame, is that kind of through our season seeing the that kind of like the because everybody in the production kind of knew that it was the last one. It was the passion, like it wasn't quite like it didn't mean as much as it means now, you know, and it, like in terms of the production aspect of it. Like
from Disney's
from Disney's perspective, because they were like they were it was their last one, they weren't really invested in it. The Disney executives were it was kind of I don't know exactly how
I
to
hope
say
it
what I
carries
wanna
through to
say.
the show. I hope they don't just put everything into these films. I hope the show continues.
Yeah.
And they respect that fan base that started it all. And they maybe put a bit of that edge, a bit of that oomph into the show, because it's still as a G rating, the actual movie. So it's not that hard to sort of put a bit of that edge and a bit of that budget into the series, and so hopefully that continues.
This one's for Ziggy's character. Could you explain the relationship between you and Dr. K?
It's complicated.
the character relationship.
Yeah, he did say Dr. K and Ziggy.
Character.
Okay.
Yes, he said Ziggy and Dr. K's relationship.
The relationship between Ziggy and Dr. K was quite subtle. Well, maybe not on the outside, but to them, they thought they were hiding it, I think.
Subtle as a brick to the face.
Yeah, exactly. Ziggy thought he was being pretty down low. He thought he was being pretty sneaky. But I think everyone else could see.
She wanted him from day one. Dr. K wanted Ziggy from day one.
But that was like a lot of fun to play, and like Liv is such a great actress, and it was just like that was a joy. All that little interplay and stuff was super fun. Yeah.
So speaking of the women, of the show, for Dan, I know Adelaide, she's gone on and she's doing things and what have you. So like,
She's
can you talk
Queen
about?
Mary. She's Queen Mary.
Yeah. So can you talk a little bit about working with her and the dynamic of like, this is my sister, that sort of thing.
I liked it. Our storyline. I was very grateful for our storyline because it gave it a real sort of meat, a real sort of a real heart to the series. It wasn't just about defeating whatever sort of rubber monster turned up. It was about two young children being taken from their homes and turned into robots. So it certainly gave me a really nice place to go from. Adelaide was still very new when we did the show.
Yeah.
So it was great. And she actually had a really tough time with her wardrobe. And the wardrobe itself wasn't too bad, but her face piece was quite uncomfortable to wear.
Didn't they glue it onto her face?
Yeah, they virtually glued it onto her face. Hey, new kid, cop this. But I think she was so, for someone who was so new and so timid, and I just think she grew so much as a person and as an actor on that show. And I'm so and I saw her in LA just before I came out here very briefly, and she's like a different person. She's obviously the lead of her own show. She grew so much. Ika set her clothes on fire.
It might have been me.
I won't give you guys the details of how that occurred, but it was fireworks. Her clothes were on the balcony, and so Ika had to buy her a whole new wardrobe. And if you know Adelaide, she has a very expensive taste.
Yeah.
So
I mean, she was 17.
Yeah. Never lived away from home.
Never lived away from home. Moved to New Zealand by herself. She wasn't on set nearly as much as the rest of us, and
most of the time she had to talk to the stunt team.
Yeah.
She had to, so obviously in her lair, it's mostly stunt guys. Like you guys can see the voices on the show. Most of the time it's just the stunt guys doing this.
So that's all second unit, while we're all on main unit. So a lot of her time was spent by herself. So
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it was hard.
All right, let's get those hands high. Who else has a question
Oh, look at y'all.
here?
There we go.
Okay, get someone new.
It always
Here we
takes
go.
a little while to get.
Did Kentucky win? Does anyone know that score yet? They won. They won? Of course they did.
Yeah.
My man.
Hi everyone. I just got a quick question because I'm sorry. My brain stopped working.
Ari has that effect on everyone. Look at him.
Yeah, just looking at his big
puppy
blue
dog,
eyes.
puppy dog eyes.
So my question was, with your season being the one where the kind of main story wasn't on the Red Ranger, did that kind of have a effect on like all the cast members? With you, were you kind of in the thought process of, well, I still get to be the Red Ranger, but I'm not a Red Ranger kind of thing?
No, mate. Sorry, no, I'll explain. No, we never saw it. Like, there was definitely that thing when we were kids, as like, you know, the main story centers around the Red Ranger. I'm glad that was sort of tossed out. We are really an ensemble cast, and what that means is, like, I really thought it was an equal sort of thing. I was very fortunate, and Adelaide and I were very fortunate for that. That was like a really good sort of meaty storyline, but every character got their focus episodes. Every character was a certain piece in this puzzle. Yeah, so no, I never considered that. I thought it was a story as a team. That's for sure.
Good answer.
Good question.
Good question. All
So
right.
Red Rangers usually get this and they usually get a bit more of the focus, don't they? Shh, losers. Ed Sheeran.
Other than the Power Rangers and RPM, what is your favorite Power Ranger?
Well, you got it. Obviously, you haven't been listening, mate, so I'm not going to answer that question.
Original Green Ranger.
Yeah.
Come on, Tommy. JDS.
Everyone's like,
Yeah,
yes.
the one that everybody.
Milo dressed up as Tommy.
Yeah, I totally did. Yeah, when I was like first watching Mighty Morphin, it was definitely Tommy. But then I've grown to love RJ. I love and if you've ever met
Senor Dave
David,
Delatour.
yeah, if you've ever met David Delatour, you'll know he's a lovely man. And yeah, so but it's mainly because David's such a nice bloke that I like that character.
Did you actually watch Jungle Fury?
I watched a few episodes of Jungle Fury before we started filming. Actually, yeah,
Nice.
I dug it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, good hand.
Hands, Joker.
Nice throw.
Considering the fact that the Power Rangers has been around for so long, I'm sorry.
Why so serious?
What was it like playing in the show that had such an impact on all of us back in our early childhood?
Well, I just got your brain blank.
I mean, I think
Thank you, Mike.
It's contagious.
the impact is kind of like shown just when we're out on the convention floor and people like come up and say, wow, I really enjoyed Power Rangers, and then you get to really feel that impact, firsthand. And for me, and I'm really humbled when someone says, oh, I really enjoyed Power Rangers, or you're just a Power Rangers fan in general, and we were able to contribute to that childhood that you mentioned. So it's like the impact's very, like, I think a lot bigger than you guys maybe think, because I'm super appreciative that I'm able to kind of like be in this world and contribute to that. So I mean, and so I think like you guys, when you come up and say that, I think we're all very grateful.
I'm super humble. It's one of those. It's an Australian word.
Hungry and
Hungry.
humble. Yeah.
Hungry. I'm humbled and grateful, and I'll tell you guys why. I think these pop culture expos are very special things. And the reason is this: not everyone in this room is going to get to be on television or in movies, but these pop culture expos are great because everyone can dress up and you can do what you want when you're up. And I think it's an amazing celebration of yourself. And it doesn't matter who you are. It's just, I think these things are such a fantastic thing. And everyone, like the elation on people's faces, you can literally dress up in what you want. I saw a dude who was probably 6'5" without the heels he had on, So I think these are very special moments, and to be able to play a character that was special in someone's childhood, to give someone happiness, whether it's an escape or just entertainment, that's a special thing to me, and I'm very grateful for sure.
Yeah. Like, for us, the process of making it, we weren't at all engaged in any way, shape, or form with the fandom. We'd kind of heard rumors and mumblings of this 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 Power Ranger fandom, but we had no first-hand contact with it or recognition of how big or broad it is, because, as I say, it wasn't playing in New Zealand. We didn't get, like, the show originally was kind of relegated to like an obscure time slot, so we weren't really getting any first-hand experience with how big of an impact that it did have. So it wasn't for me until I did my first Morphicon, like 4 years ago, I think. 3 years ago, 4 years ago, that I really was like, it really hit me, and I was like, wow, this is incredible. So just to be a part of that universe and be able to actually see it is incredible. It's great. Absolutely love it. It's working.
We can hear you.
All right. Ika, for example, said his least favorite moment was that episode when you guys were in the Go On Your RV.
Oh,
like he
yeah.
said he was really, he said he was literally ready to kill somebody.
Yep.
After that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I guess for all you guys, what was your least favorite episode or just moment on the show?
Definitely Go On Your. That thing was horrible. We were in, like, there were 5 of us in a camper van in the sun in summer with like 4 10K lights all around us, blasting into the inside of it, wearing these. We were like, surely we can take off our jackets, we're in a car, surely we'd take them off. And like, no, you gotta wear those. And it was like a day and a half, 2 days.
Yeah.
It was a long time, and we were in there, and we were seriously like, bickering at each other like brother and sisters.
Touch me.
Yeah, all I remember from that was like we'd finish a take, and I could just hear Rose's voice being like, "Milo, you're blocking me. Move to your left." And I'm like, "No, Rose, I'm in my position. You need to get around the side of me, okay?" Yeah, that was a gnarly day. That was a horrible day.
That's as angry as she got, though. That was it.
Yeah, she kept it cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
She just goes from kind, gentle Kiwi to passive aggressive Kiwi. That's it. She doesn't get angry. She's too kind. Good hands. There we go.
Okay, so you mentioned that Ika accidentally set
Adelaide's.
clothes on fire. Could you please elaborate?
Is that for the After Dark or?
Am I?
No.
That one's fine.
Alright.
We were, so basically Ika and Adelaide got put up in the same apartment complex, and it was kind of a C-shaped building, so it had kind of a little courtyard area in the middle, and Ika was like on the 7th floor, and Adelaide was on like the 5th floor, and their apartments were opposite. And we have Guy Fawkes in New Zealand, so you can buy fireworks in certain times of the year. And there are these one little things called cascades, and they're like a little thing that you light. They look like a little stick of dynamite, but they buzz around on the floor and spin really, really fast. And we hit one, and it just happened.
What was
to
that? Hang on,
land.
let me stop you there. You got the fireworks, yeah?
Yeah.
Great.
Yep.
Sky Fox celebrating.
Yep.
Where's the decision process to throw it onto Adelaide's balcony? I'm not sure the connection there is missing for me. Ika Darville, that's the connection.
Okay.
Yeah.
Enough
Yeah,
said.
I don't know.
Ika's nickname on the show was the Pirate because of his wayward tendencies.
Tendencies with rum.
That's an after dark. That's an after dark.
Yeah.
Continue.
But no, she had a clothes horse out on her balcony, and the firework happened to land just underneath it. And
because in Australia and New Zealand, I don't know if you guys know, like, so there's, like the close areas and stuff. Like in LA, it's really weird. It's really dry part of town, part of the country, and no one airs their clothes outside. I don't know if it's because they're afraid it's going to get stolen or it's too dusty or whatever. But that's a very common thing. Most people hang their clothes outside in Australia.
Yeah. Was Adelaide
Never again, Adelaide.
Was Adelaide home at the time?
no.
When did she find out? When did she find out?
Was she? Because Ika busted in.
Oh right. Oh right. Okay. Yeah, maybe she was.
Anyway, the details of this story
It was a long time ago.
cannot be divulged. With
Hey guys, RPM is one of my top 5 favorite seasons.
Thank you, sir.
In the final episode, if you could talk to each of your characters, what would you tell? What would you tell
I'd say, hey, chin up, big guy. You're gonna be okay.
I rode off into the sunset with Summer and Tanaya, I think. So I would say, dump the sister. I mean, I'm sure you could find her a nice guy along the way.
Yeah, dump it in the middle of the desert.
Sorry. Well, I survived.
Thanks to me.
I would say, what time is it? And then he would say,
boom time.
That's what you got, Mike.
That's all I got. At least I didn't dump my sister in the middle of the desert, okay?
Man's got needs.
What would I say to Flynn?
Flynn.
What would I say to Flynn? I don't know. I'd say grow your hair back long.
Oh, yeah, he looked good with long hair.
He looked good with long hair.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah.
What? That's really homoerotic. I'm sorry. That's fun. Yeah, I love that episode. That was my favorite.
Yeah.
Should tell a story about our driver. Remember the driver who was an extra in like 3 of those episodes? You remember that guy?
Corin.
Yeah, Corin.
He was
No,
the
no,
sound guy.
Corin's the sound guy.
Yeah,
So
no,
the dude.
The other guy too. The
Tim?
nice
Oh
guy,
yeah, Tim. Yeah. So one of our drivers was he would
Tim
just
was
continuously be an extra in the show. But the guy who plays the aid worker when Flynn has long hair and he ends up painting his face blue and like leading the tribes people with tennis rackets. So the guy who's like, we can't get involved in the local affairs, like that dude with the long curly hair. He's actually the sound operator.
The boom
operator.
And they made him audition and everything. Like they didn't decide what they made him put a tape. Like they were like they made like they.
Oh, they checked that he could do it, but they asked. But Eddie asked him specifically to do it. But I've been working with that guy. He was the sound operator when I did the Tribe when I was 10. Like 10. So he's known me since like really, really
He
young.
also worked on like King Kong and like all the Lord of the Rings. Like
he's like one of the best sound operators in New Zealand. Yeah.
And one of the best actors.
Yes.
You stole Ari's episode.
Thanks, Corin. Thanks. Cheers.
Mate.
So we have our final question here.
From Summer.
Here we go. And
Summer Lansdowne.
What's your favorite episode on the show?
Favorite episode on the show?
Mine 100% is Ranger Blue.
I'm gonna go with Ranger Blue as well, just because of that meta start, and I don't know, just there's something about it that I loved, man. I loved that episode.
Losers. Oh, I just like F1, mate. That's I don't know. Just and the reason is because we had a viewing at our at the Fleet Street Palace. We shared a house, Ari and I. It was amazing. And I think because Eddie brought three sort of rough cuts of the first sort of 3 episodes. And I don't know, that just really, I remember being there and I was just watching it and we all realised that, this is very different, you know?
We realised.
And it's really cringeworthy watching that sort of stuff as an actor because there's no music to make you sound better or special effects to make you look better or anything like that. So it's just really raw. And I think we all realised we had something special. It was like, it was a very nice moment. So those first sort of 3 really sort of
I remember that feeling. That was really special. Like we had on the last day of the last day before Christmas break, because we shoot it over from one half of the year into the second half of the year into the first half of the year. When we broke for Christmas was when we had a full cast and crew screening of the first episode, and like a big hangar. It was projected on the screen, and everybody was just like, "Whoa,
this is different."
This is because the crew have been working on multiple seasons of it. It's mostly the same people coming back, and everybody was like, "This is something else. Like this is totally different. This is going to be loved." Yeah, that was exciting.
Good question.
Mike,
thank you.
Mike, what's your favorite?
Oh,
not really bothered. I haven't seen this season actually.
No, my favorite was the one that kind of focused on Jim, just because I got to play him in a slightly different way. You know, he was quite eccentric, and there was some scenes where he got to be less because he was away from Jim, and he was kind of put in a situation where it wasn't, slightly different. So that was mine.
You know what my favorite dynamic on the show was that was real funny, that kind of went into but then didn't, was Flynn and Gemma like kind of starting this thing.
Yeah.
And then Jem getting this real creepy, jealous vibe on. Like, I remember like the cutaways for Mike. I'm just like, okay, cool, see you later. And turn around and he's just standing there like...
Daggers in the
just
back,
like disappears. That was hilarious.
I actually had a lot of fun with that. But I mean,
Were they brother and sister?
Yeah, they're twins. Yeah, they're twins.
It was a protective thing, okay?
Well, I'm not gonna have Ari finish my sentences, okay?
Well, we just like to thank the cast of RPM.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.